Okay, it says got it. Yeah, it says going live stream.
Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited today. We are live with Amish, and he is the producer of an amazing new movie called Natural Law. And I'm so excited because I'm a huge proponent for Ayurveda, as you know. And Ayurveda is a sister science of yoga, the science of life, and how it can truly heal you from the inside out. And so today, in this amazing conversation with my friend Amish, we're going to be exploring all of the details about why Ayurveda is so important for people to know about right now, and some more information and a sneak peek into the movie that's coming out tomorrow, official premiere tomorrow.
Yeah,
Law. So welcome, Amish. I'm so happy.
thank you. Yeah, thanks. It's truly a pleasure. Thank you so much. And we're all very excited. We're just ready to share this movie and wisdom and just amazingness with the world.
Yeah, it's so wonderful. I'd love for you to share a little bit about your background, especially when it comes to why did you get into this? Like, how did Ayurveda impact your life? And if you want to share any of that original story.
Yeah, so it all kind of started, I guess, like when I was a kid. I used to get stomach aches and I used to get eczema patches and like sometimes I get like bloody noses and stuff. And I would complain a lot to my parents, and they'd take me to the doctor here. I was born in New Jersey and grew up in New Jersey. So I'd go to the doctor, and the doctor would be like, "All right, here's some Pepto-Bismol, or here's some like lotion, and put it on, and that's it. It's over." Uh, and that kind of continued throughout my childhood, and I just kind of normalized it to some extent. As I got older, in my late teens, early 20s, I got vitiligo, which is a lightening of skin, and it was like a white mark, like right under my eye, and I was getting dark spots and white marks and like these weird kind of I don't know, like bumps on my face and on my skin. I just again didn't know what it was. Went to the doctor, vitiligo. They're like, "Oh, can't really explain it. We don't know why it happened." I'm like, "Okay, that's interesting." Um, as I just kind of continued to deal with that, I used to notice like migraines, like really big migraines would come, and I still get like some bloody noses from time to time. And in my kind of early 20s, mid 20s, I found success really quick at a young age on online in the early 2000s, kind of during the dot-com boom, I guess you could say. I went and made a lot of money online. And we had a multi-million dollar business before I knew it, well, in my middle, mid 20s. And I lived a kind of crazy lifestyle, to be honest with you. I partied, I had fun, I drank a lot, I ate whatever I wanted to, did whatever I wanted to, because I had millions of dollars and I had three exotic cars and a house in La Jolla overlooking the ocean. And I noticed that my symptoms started getting worse as I continued my worse lifestyle. I had 4 or 5 successful multi-million dollar businesses. I was living the high life. I was, flying around everywhere like every couple of weeks and just living that life of being rich and entrepreneur and marketer and all this kind of stuff that I thought I was at the time. That brought me to go to the doctor at some point because I was like, man, I got suicidal and depressed and I just didn't feel good. And so I went to the doctor and I kind of started down that path. And the first thing that they asked was lab. Let's go do labs. So I got my labs and I got my report back, and my cholesterol when I was 29 years old was 370. And that is like off the spectrum. I had fatty liver, like near adrenal, like adrenal issues, and all kinds of things that I just couldn't explain. And I was getting those migraines, and I'd always have a stuffy nose and a sinus infection going on. And so my symptoms were just getting worse, and I was getting depressed and suicidal, and it was just weird. And I had everything but happiness, right? I had all these cars and money and all this stuff, but I wasn't happy and I wasn't healthy at all. And so I decided to kind of push the reset button, started exercising, the normal kind of stuff, green juicing, and just trying to get back to normal, meditating and getting back to that kind of life. Slowed everything down. And I was like, well, that's not me. I need to kind of reset. So kind of got rid of the company for the next year to 2 years, took some time off, figure out what I needed to do, tried to get healthy, kind of using the kind of, I guess you could say, Western method, lifting, yoga, things like that, and even acupuncture. And it was kind of working, but I still continued to kind of feel like crap, even after I got rid of everything and wanted to start my new business. And the business I wanted to create next was around doing good and positivity. And so that led me to want to create documentaries. I love documentaries, love movies, I love music. That's my passion. So as I started getting rid of these things, I'm like, I'm going to focus on what's my passion. Meanwhile, I'm getting MRIs and I'm getting CAT scans and I'm getting ultrasounds. I'm getting all kinds of tests done to figure out what is wrong with me, because I still was in pain and I was like, oh my God, something like is hurting me inside of me. I'd be in pain so much I just wouldn't know what to do. I'd take like a bunch of medicine or something to kind of chill it out for at least a little while. And honestly, I was numbing with alcohol and other things. So you know, that went on for a while. In 2012, after I kind of figured like, okay, I need to try something else. This kind of normal system is not working for me. I decided to go to Ayurveda. It was in my kind of lineage. I didn't know much about it. My parents kind of knew a little bit about it, but not a lot by any means. And so I started filming a documentary on Ayurveda. And that took me on a journey. That was 10 years ago, was our first interview on Ayurveda. And that led me on this whole entire miraculous journey of healing myself and healing others. And watching, so I should say, watching others get healed, actually. Uh, and we've interviewed 40 of the world's top experts across the world. Even at some point during the interview process of shooting the film, I actually had gotten so sick I didn't know, again, what was wrong with me. I was practicing Ayurveda, I was doing the detox retreats, and I still didn't know what was wrong with me. Turns out I took a genetic test and I have celiac disease. So it was like a genetic test that showed me I have celiac disease. And by that time, I had probably, I probably had I probably had 8 to 12 kind of ulcers. And, it was pretty messed up. And so I went all into Ayurveda and used all the different protocols, and teas and herbs, and cut out certain foods, and got these detox retreats. And I started getting better really fast. Within 60 days, obviously, I had to cut gluten out because I found out I have celiac. So I did that, and within 60 days, I started feeling better. Within 90 days, I started feeling like really good. In the first year, I was like, oh my God, this was what I was missing. But the celiac and the ulcers and everything that was going on in my body had left so much damage in my body that I needed to reverse a lot of it. So I ended up getting my yoga certification and using meditation, yoga, and kind of Ayurveda together. And that is what kind of changed my life. It saved my life. I'd say Ayurveda literally reversed all of it. And the journeys that I've seen and the people we've encountered from here to India and all across kind of the world has been spectacular. And we've heard, stage 4 cancer type of stuff, reverse thyroid. And I'm like, what? How is this possible? These are things that, we say that you can't cure. So I witnessed all these amazing things, and this was just, again, my journey. I'm not saying by any means that this is going to cure anybody's diseases, but it's a 5,000-year-old medicine from India, and it's been around for even longer before that through verbal tradition. It's the oldest, most comprehensive medicinal system on the planet. They cataloged, 5 to 10, I should say 7 to 9,000 herbs over the last 5,000 years, and they have 25,000 different recipes and concoctions that can be used for various ailments. How and why this was preserved for so long, I said this at a talk recently, is that the truth is timeless, and that's what has kept it alive. And I got to document it, and I got to witness it, and I got to be on many journeys with 40 of the world's top leading experts, doctors, scientists, world experts on Ayurveda and the healing science of Ayurveda. And so it was 2021. It was 3 years after I found out I had celiac, and I actually put the documentary aside to heal myself. I got the hit that I need to finish the documentary. So for the last 2 years, we were kind of like wrapping up the loose ends and putting together the whole, effort to get the word out there. And it's been very well received. We won many awards already, and we're just excited to share this ancient wisdom with the world. So.
I love that. To me, I have also had my own healing journeys with Ayurveda. And I think I was sharing with you a little while ago how even just earlier this year, I mean, I was so sick. I went to Bali. I got really, really sick. And I got it. I didn't even know many things were going on. And so I just got this deep message, go to Ayurveda. And I have done like 6 panchakarmas. I try to do it now every year because the first time I did it was because I was so burned out from working so much. It was like work-related burnout, but there was like many levels to what happens when you push yourself past your limit. And I feel like the American, or like just globally, that's kind of a epidemic in itself, just people pushing too hard to try to like do too much. And I feel the science of life that Ayurveda is the journey back to and that's why I love the name of your movie, Natural Law, like journey back to being in harmony with nature. And that harmony has a rhythm, and our lifestyles with technology is a little bit almost like just outside of the spectrum of that rhythm. The pace is so high that we're processing so much all the time.
There's a lot happening.
So when we go to Ayurveda, one of the things that I feel like is so healing about it, especially because the way I perceive Ayurveda, like you said, is it's a combination of the 3. It's yoga, meditation, and then Ayurveda is like the other part, which is
they're all sister sciences.
So when they are working together, this is literally, there's nothing more powerful in terms of healing because it brings your body into the natural state. And the natural state is harmony and health and feeling connected to everything and feeling joy and bliss and all of the good energy. That's our natural state. So when we're out of that, it just is an indication there's something out of balance. And Ayurveda, it's so miraculous because you don't even, it's almost like a mystery. It's not really a mystery because there's a lot of science there, but like you just go there.
There's a lot of
do
science
all these
now.
massages and they do this and they say eat this and you're doing yoga and you're doing meditation and they're making a slow way down. And then all of a sudden 7 to 12 or 15 or whatever, however many days you're there, you're like a new person, always reborn at the end. You're like totally on every cellular level reborn. And so when I went there just in January, it was interesting because I had actually an infection and I didn't know, like I try to stay away from antibiotics if I can because they destroy your gut. And so I was like, okay, well, so I went to Ayurveda and the infection had gone into my ear. And I never really thought about Ayurveda as like a treatment for that type of thing, like an ear infection, right? They even had a protocol for my ear infection. They literally did this whole smoke treatment, massaging around here with like specific oils. She was blowing this specific smoke into my ear. And literally in 5 days, it was gone. And that was another level of proof to me because there's different reasons, like you think, oh, it'll heal my energy, but very specific things, like you said, cancer or infection that normally humans would think could only be treated with Western medicine.
It's an all-around science. Yeah, it covers everything from pediatrics to geriatrics and everything in between. So, it's amazing that this has been around for so long. And yeah, the natural law that you're talking about, there's principles that are written in nature that you have to abide by these laws of nature. Nature is the most grandest production of our universe. It makes our universe, So the ancients in India thought like, okay, well, what composes of the universe? What is it made of? How does it work? What are the forces? And they documented all of this. And so they understood nature from the building blocks that make the universe, that make our bodies, that make the technology that we're using, that make the trees outside, the food, like that make everything around us. And they were able to express it in a way that we're able to kind of decipher now. It's been around forever, and it's kind of cool that it's coming back, and they're based on these natural principles. And so that's why we called it the natural law, because it's living in accordance to these natural laws and balancing. It's all about balancing what you do. It's not saying you can't eat this or don't do that. It's not saying Western medicine is bad or Eastern medicine is good. It's just like use everything together. And I think that was the key to this, is use it together. If you're going to have a heart attack, you have a stroke, or you're getting hit by a car, like, it's not the time to look for an Ayurvedic practitioner. It's the time to go to the hospital and go to the trauma center. You have a broken arm, go to the hospital and get it fixed, right? But these other conditions where Western medicine may not be able to help, that's where Eastern medicine really, really helps, and helps you balance the things in your life that may be causing those imbalances, from foods to lifestyle, to herbs, to teas, to even maybe massaging with oil, so
Yeah.
basic stuff. It's not rocket science out by any means, and
I've
it's
really
not a magic
explored
pill
this.
either, so.
Exactly. I really explored this because I was like, they say the number one reason for sickness and disease is stress, actually. Like, it's funny to say that because it almost seems like silly. Like, how could stress be killing everyone?
Stress.
But what is really stress, right? So stress is what we're talking about. It's like being out of harmony with the rhythm of nature. Like, nature is not in stress, right? Nature is in harmony with life, with this energy. And so it's interesting. So when we're in stress, what it means is we're like outside of that harmony. And so we've used this word as a blanket term, like stress, but like, I think that it's important for people to start to re-understand the meaning of that, because if we live in a constant state of stress, then that's when it starts to compound over time to create these bigger, like more fatal chronic illnesses and sickness and disease. And, when I see the statistics, and specifically in America, like with obesity or like heart disease or cancer, and I look over time, now 100 years ago, they had different issues, right? But like, they didn't have the crisis of cancer and obesity like we do right now. So we're in a whole different era with different types of issues that we're facing. But the number one way to solve a lot of the issues is really just getting into harmony with nature. And that's what I love about this path of Ayurveda.
Yeah. And beautiful science, written thousands of years ago. And, I think it's making a resurgence. We were just kind of talking about how, meditation maybe like 15, 20 years ago was considered like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, you're going to close your eyes and like just go off into nowhere? Like, what's up, man? And then even yoga was like, whoa, what kind of exercise is that? And then, Ayurveda is kind of like the next thing, because it gives you the power to be your own doctor. And I think that's the most powerful thing of Ayurveda. Ayurveda says that the best doctor has no patients. And the reason is because they've educated their community. They've educated the people around them on how to take care of themselves, that they don't need a doctor.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's really important to understand, is that we actually are, not intended to be sick, right? So if there's ever, I believe in the philosophy that your body is always speaking to you, right? So
Correct.
if you're ever sick, or if there's ever illness or whatever is arising, it's a message from the soul that we need to look at that, and most of the time, that's why I was talking about the pace of society. It's like most of the time, it's like you're getting the message, but you're not looking at it because you're just too busy with everything else.
There's a lot of stuff going on, yeah.
And then when
and stress comes from all different types of forms. Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, a lot of times when people finally do look at it, because it's like, okay, I can't help it, because otherwise, but it's usually too late at that point, or not too late to fix it, but like, meaning it's gotten to a really like a cancer level or something. But the nice thing is about meditation and yoga is in those stages, I feel like it's when you learn how to listen to that voice and listen to your body. And so you can prevent a lot of it too with this. And then with Ayurveda, integrating the Ayurvedic principles and practices in your day-to-day life can prevent a lot of sickness and disease as well.
Absolutely. Yep. It's it can help in so many various capacities. Extreme cases, And also just light cases, like you said, like an ear infection, that's just something, it is an infection, but it's a light case. It hasn't manifested into something so much bigger, right? And Ayurveda documented that there's 6 steps that disease actually manifests. And it's really fascinating that they knew this, that they knew that this is how disease manifests in your body thousands of years ago. Like, oh, there's just these 6 steps that it takes. And of course, now we're like, oh yeah, that is how it works. And so science is just now catching up. What is cool nowadays, like turmeric and ashwagandha and shilajit, and we have all these cool different herbs and holy basil and tulsi. A lot of these come from Ayurveda. It comes from the science of Ayurveda. In fact, a lot of modern medical system is based on Ayurvedic principles. In fact, so it's really interesting, and I'm really excited to bring this science back, because this was always considered a science for the householder. It was considered for everyone to just know, because these are basic principles of just life, and giving that power to every single human is awesome.
Absolutely. I want to go into just in terms of the film, because what's going on right now is tomorrow is a big premiere of this, right? So if we can speak a little bit about that in terms of
Sure.
how can people find out more? Because I feel that's really the first step, is really educating yourself on this, and such a nice way that you're doing it through a film. I'm a huge proponent of film, and I feel like it's one of the best ways, because also I would imagine combines some elements of entertainment as well. I think that we learn the best through story, through entertainment. So combining that, and so that it's not just like doing a Google search or reading in the encyclopedia about it, but really understanding the depth of this path, and how you can integrate the principles and start to integrate some of this into people's lives. And also what I love to, if we can explore too, a little bit into this dance between yoga, Ayurveda, and meditation, because I always see them all as one. Like, I just think they're all in one.
They are.
but they've been categorized a little bit. And I think that that's also good, because it helps for people to understand, okay, here's this, but ultimately they're all one. So a lot of people got in, like you said, into meditation and yoga over the past few decades. And I remember I started teaching yoga 18 years ago, and nobody, like you said, it was kind of like one of those, like a little bit on the cuff. And then I started the first online yoga challenge in the world, and it went viral in 2006. And it really helped bring a lot of awareness to yoga. And then yoga became a little bit more mainstream after that. And a lot of people started doing yoga challenges online. And it's interesting. So now I see, like you said, it's going to probably spiral in that way, with Ayurveda becoming more good.
Yeah, so the movie is called The Natural Law, as we said before. The link will be attached to this post, and I'm sure you'll make a post as well about it. But thenaturalllaw.com is a place where you could check it out. And the film has been 10 years in the making and has won several awards. And we've filmed many of the world's experts, including Deepak Chopra, Sri Ravi Shankar, Dr. Vasant Lad, Sahara Rose, Peter Crone, Guru Nanda, and many other kind of experts and world leaders, I guess you could say, around this topic. And so it launches officially tomorrow, and we're so excited to launch it. We have shown it to very private groups so far, and it has been so well received. And as far as the movie's concerned, yeah, it's a journey. It's cinematic, it's beautiful, it's artistic, it's educational, it's emotional. And I think everyone loves it that has watched it so far. And I'm excited to now finally share it with the world. 75,000 people have signed up to watch it. And I'm just floored. I'm honestly just humbled by the response. And I'm so glad that this is getting out now. I mean, and it's just a beautiful science. And so, answering your other question, Ayurveda is not just a standalone kind of science. It does fit with yoga and meditation, and it is kind of stemming from one science, if you will. But I think it was with the way that it was introduced to the West, and the needs of the West. And, it was interesting that meditation, the way I look at it, helps you with your mind. It helps you calm down. It helps you think through decisions. It helps you kind of detach for a little while to get an outsider's view instead of getting stuck in your mind. Well, we get trapped in our mind quite a bit. And all of us do, every single one of us. We are prisoners of our own mind to some extent. So meditation helps you get out of that and see the broader, bigger macro, or even sometimes micro view of things. And that dynamic perception of our universe allows you to take change much easier. Because like, oh, okay, you just go along with it. And so going back to the natural law, the way that the natural law works is that the nature doesn't want you to fight it. So if it's showing you something that you feel like you're bashing your head against, maybe there's a reason for that. And so meditation helps you kind of recognize some of that. And you don't gain anything from meditation. You unwind things with meditation. You gain clarity by unwinding. So that's what I'll bucket meditation in. Yoga is an interesting science because yes, here and other countries, and also in India now, yoga is considered like an athletic thing. You build a nice body, you tone, you get to stay fit, and it's a good science, and it helps me feel calm. Yoga was always meant as union. So what you're doing now with union is you're combining your breath with your body so that your mind becomes still, so that your breath and your body become one. It's the union of your mind and your body now. So in the first step of meditation, you're calming your mind. Now you're going to calm your body and connect that calm mind with your body, basically. And so now you're giving benefit to your body. You're calming your nerves. You're calming your physical body. You're helping it relax. You're strengthening it at the same time, which is really amazing. And it's through these asanas, or these different, I guess you can call them postures, and these different postures basically in certain sequences help, again, repair the body, secrete certain fluids and enzymes and things that your body needs, and helps it repair itself, helps it strengthen it, helps it make it stronger. There's also an energetic component to yoga that maybe is unseen or unspoken of a lot of times. And that is basically these centers in our bodies that we call chakras. And some people say they're physical things. I call them energetic things. But they are physical centers of the body that control, guess what? Your organs. And so what you're doing with yoga is you're also clearing out the energetics of those organs. You're bringing life force into them. So now your organs and your body are full of prana, or they're full of vital force. So you're detoxing your organs from a physical perspective. And the last one is Ayurveda. Now, Ayurveda is the science of life. Yoga and meditation and breathwork fall under Ayurveda, because Ayurveda is kind of like this arching kind of branch. Ayur means life, and Veda means wisdom. So this is life wisdom, if you put it together. And so this includes the foods, the herbs, the teas, the balancing of your doshas. Maybe the environment is causing toxins. Maybe something else is causing you to be angry or cold or sluggish or slow or have a certain disease, or even, it solves all kinds of issues. It's very interesting. And so it looks at that as what are you putting into your body, and it looks at your gut, and it looks at how you're thinking. And so your gut is a brain, and your brain is obviously a brain as well, but your gut is a massive brain. And so what you take in helps kind of balance what's being taken into your brain according to your constitution. So when you use all three of these, you're basically balancing your mind, your body, your energy, and your spirit, kind of all kind of together in one. So the trifecta of all three is so powerful because it sets you on your path to happiness. One last thing I'll add here is that Ayurveda's core tenet is to solve for unhappiness. Solve for what's bringing you unhappiness. Oh, this pain? Okay, well, let's dig deeper into that pain. What's the root cause of the pain? What's causing it? Maybe there's mental blockages. Maybe there's emotional blockages. Maybe there's physical blockages. Yes. Let's work on all three of them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have a school, and so my audience all knows at Flow State Institute, we always incorporate teachings of Ayurveda as well as, along with yoga, and to see that how they work together is inextricably linked. Like if you try to do one without the other, the benefits are dramatically lower, in terms of just not understanding that what you bring in, for example, Ayurveda, what you're eating, or even the mind, right? What you're bringing into your mind, the thoughts that you're entertaining, the energy that you're carrying, and then the way that your lifestyle is, on a day-to-day is all equally important to like your physical. For example, if you're doing these asanas and the postures and you're moving the energy, but like what you're bringing in is like blocking you back up, right? So it's like you have flow going on over here, but then over here you're like blocking the flow, and so then you have this contradiction within that is kind of like what creates a lot of disharmony as well, and disease. It's like some people in the Western world call it like detox retox. It's like what I consume is my business, because that's like I get to let go a little and get all these things. And then on this side of it, but I do Bikram yoga, or I do something, I'm sweating a lot, or I work out. And and I used to have that when I was 20, like early in college and things. I remember I had that lifestyle where I was like detox retox, and the mentality of that was, well, I'm really healthy on this side, so I can balance it by kind of like letting go on this side. And I realized after getting sick which was like, no, that's not a rational way to live, even though somehow our society became, and so though that makes sense, that there's balance there, right? And the true balance is not detox retox, or that I can let loose here because I'm disciplined on this side, but more, okay, true balance. And like you were saying, when you're getting the message on any level, mentally, physically, emotionally, or spiritually, that there's something out of harmony, that's telling us we need to remove some things, recalibrate what we're allowing in, and the way that we're living our lives. And then and that's what I love about Ayurveda and the whole science of life and yoga, and at Flow State Yoga Institute, that's really our philosophy anyway. So the idea that you can live in this flow state, which is a state of perpetual joy and happiness, like we really can access that when the body, mind, spirit, and emotions are in this harmonious state. That's our natural state, flow, joy, and
yes, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. So beautifully said. Yeah, it's the truth. It's when we use these things and everything is in balance, everything just becomes magical. You're like, wow, I'm doing what I love. I love everyone around me. I feel healthy and strong. I'm courageous, strong, and you just feel everything good. And then everyone has these. You're gonna hit these bottoms, but when you practice these sciences, the bottom doesn't feel like you want to, like you said, retox, right? It's just like, okay, I'll figure out another way to deal with that, and I'll breathe through this and whatever. It's just another thing in life. And so those chances to go down the other way become less, and I say Ayurveda is a science built on like consciousness. It's pretty cool. It's like the more you practice it, or you add one layer and start scraping your tongue, guess what? You added a layer. You start oil pulling, you add another layer. Add tea in, you add another layer. You take some triphala in the evening, you add another layer. You're adding abhyanga, you add another layer. So these different layers that you're adding, yoga, meditation, it's like building a foundation to a castle. So guess what? If you fall off the wagon for a little while and you knock off a couple of bricks off the top of the castle, you have these other bricks that are still keeping you going. And so what the top feels like and what true vibrancy feels like, and you don't actually want to get off of that vibrancy. It's like, I feel so good. And it's not like you can't drink or you can't enjoy life. And guess what? You can. You do what's right for you, do what brings you joy, and you do it in balance. You want to enjoy other things in life, do it in balance. That's what
I love about it, that it's a science built on consciousness, because with yoga and meditation, what you're really learning is, like I said, how to listen to that inner voice, and that inner voice will tell you, yeah, you can have a glass of champagne or a mimosa, like if
Yeah.
it tells you, yeah, it's no problem. But then sometimes the voice is like, actually you shouldn't be doing that, and then you're like, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Exactly.
So that's when you're out of harmony. But it's like when you're really listening and you learn how to listen to yourself, your body knows you can have that piece of cake, whatever,
Exactly.
Like
It's okay. It's not strict at all. That's what makes Ayurveda beautiful, and it makes it like you can bounce back to it. It's like, oh, okay, well, guess what? I fell off the wagon for a week. I'm sorry. Like, and then guess what? You're back.
Right.
And it, because you know what it feels like to be normal. And once you're out of that normal state, you're like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah. I like the way you put that, to be normal, which means to be happy and healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's funny because my whole life I had a relationship to that word normal, because there's no really such thing as normal. There's just common.
That's true.
Well, but I like what you just said, because with normal, what it is it's what's most common. And if you look at what's most common, which is normal, it's actually sickness and disease. Like, actually, I saw a statistic the other day, 80% of Americans have gut issues. So this is 80%, 4 out of 5, and ultimately, I've battled with those over my lifetime too. And Ayurveda is a huge solution for healing even that. And that's, most of the time, people don't like to talk about that very much publicly because it's very private and just like keep it quiet. But like, ultimately, if anybody's dealing with gut issues or anxiety, depression, mental health, all of these are under the umbrella of what we're talking about. And when people are dealing with this in the privacy of their own mind and life, and it's like it's very it's lonely, and it's painful to suffer alone. And so I always want to encourage people to find a community, and this is a great community here, Natural Law, and also the Flow State Yoga community. We have, there's so many resources available, so there's no need or reason to suffer ever. And the natural state, the normal, it should be the happy, healthy, joyous energy. And if you're not feeling it, then definitely get connected to the communities that are offering these amazing life-changing solutions that are available to everybody. And it's actually not that hard. It might seem like, oh, like he described building.
I never thought I would be able to feel how I feel today. I mean, when I was in pain, I just thought that was normal and that was life. And oh man, I'm 30 years old. Oh man, these pains, I guess I got to take a Pepsid AC or something. I don't know, it's like, that we've normalized things as a society. We're like, oh, it's okay to have these issues. Just take this and you'll put it on pause for a little. It's
normal to suffer, and it's not normal to have sickness and disease. It's just common. And I always like to point that out so that people don't be like, yeah, but everybody I know is like that too. You don't need to. And even if it's an anomaly where there's only 10% of people happy and healthy, you want to join that club. Get in the club. And the club is Ayurveda, yoga, meditation, this lifestyle approach is really the solution. And you can see celebrities doing it. You see people on every walk of life, who understand this. And it's been a little bit of a secret society, I think, for so long. So that's what I love about. I love, because I've been in the secret society for like 20 years, but like ultimately we want to let everyone else in too. That I love about your movie.
Awesome. Yeah, so good. So yeah, thanks for everything. Thanks for having me on as well.
Yeah, so happy. So you guys, whoever's watching this, click the link in the description. You can click that, register to see the film. It's starting tomorrow, the premiere. It's going to be a 2-week premiere, but just register. You'll get the link when it's on and available, and then watch it, learn about this, spread the word, share with your friends, let them know about this, because like I said, 80% of people suffering with gut health issues. And I would say, actually, I've worked with Dr. Khalsa from Harvard for the past 12 years, and he said, I think 80 to 90% are really actually also in the category of struggling with mental health as well. And people don't understand the connection so often between the physical health, the emotional health, the mental health, all of it. So if you're struggling with mental health, sometimes it might just be your gut, or it might be your stress. And so once you get those under control, then all those anxieties and the depression,
it all goes away
too. And it's
amazing. That happened exactly with me.
And in the Western world, they want to give you a pill. They're like, oh, you're depressed, take this. That never helps. I've had clients who've come to me and they were on these medications, and it kills your desire for, there's no joy in there, you know, and it doesn't solve anything. There's no long-term health that will come from that. And in fact, the list of side effects that are on the negative side are so long, they usually fill 2 full pages in
It's a suppressor.
Yeah. So literally all the like pill that you're going to get from a Western doctor, if you're struggling with gut issues or mental health or emotional problems or any of that, none of those are solutions. They are not going to heal you. And the only thing that really will, I truly believe, and I've dedicated my entire life to this as well, is this path, learning and implementing and applying the strategies, thousands of year-old wisdom from Ayurveda and the yoga and meditation sciences. And you can get started right away. It's not so much, you know, it sounds like, oh, I gotta do all these things. Like, start with one little thing. That's what I love. You know, like he said, tongue scraping. I tongue scrape, and I was just thinking about that. I was like, what did I, like, how was my life before this? Like, why did I ever not tongue scrape? And the only reason is because I just didn't know about it. But when I started, I was like, oh my God, like, this is a game changer.
True, it changes the game. Yeah.
I want to say about the coconut swishing, because, you know, actually one time my gum was bleeding and I did the 10 minutes coconut swishing, coconut oil, and it healed it. And then recently my little dog started getting, her gum was getting all red, and I started rubbing her gum with the coconut oil. It's already healing. And it's amazing that medicine from plants, from nature, from Mother Earth is truly the medicine for every single ailment that we could ever encounter in this life.
And we're respecting our body's intelligence. We came from nature. So using things from nature on our body, we're respecting its intelligence. It's like, wow, thanks for that. You know, when we take something foreign or synthetic and we put it on, it's like, wait, what is this? I have to figure this out.
Exactly.
We evolved over millions of years.
Natural fiber, like the fabric of your clothing. I mean, this is a little bit beyond the Ayurveda principle. It's in the principles of the idea that the natural fiber is better for your energy than the synthetic fibers even. And so it's like, we are nature. Literally, we are made up, and that's another part of Ayurveda, is like that we are made of the earth, water, fire, ether, and air.
The 5 elements.
What we're made out of, and that's what the principles are based on, is that we are made out of the same stuff that the earth is made out of and what the stars are made out of. And so as we wear those things, as we consume those things, and even as we start to understand our interconnected to all of that, that's when we really become yoga, which is the yoke, the union with all, and the oneness with life.
Awesome. Amazing.
So beautiful to have you today. I'm really
Thank you.
Amazing conversation. Everybody click the link, go watch the amazing film tomorrow. I can't wait to hear it. And if you do, let us know what you think. And also feel free to share this video far and wide. Let your friends know about it. This is a huge gift that Amish is giving out to the world. He dedicated many years to making this film. And it's really, truly with the intention of helping everybody to discover the healing and the benefits that are available to us all through the amazing path of Ayurveda. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.